Check 1, 2.
Now it's working.
Sorry, guys. We
Hi, I'm Kevin.
I'm Christa. Welcome to Hump Day Happy Hour. That was our new game that we're going to play at the beginning of every Hump Day, which is What Did We Say? Can you read lips? Anybody?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, hello everyone. Welcome to Hump Day. If you do want to know what we said, where's the search party? We're worried about Taylor DeLosa. He was not the first comment tonight.
Oh, Jennifer, I double-checked with Garrett on the new address today, and I UPS'd your door prize stuff out today. You'll have it tomorrow.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks for handling that, honey.
No problem.
I kept forgetting, and then I didn't forget. Hey, so let's talk about a little bit what we're going to discuss tonight. We're going to talk about an update on the points for the LCRC season points series. I did an update on that at the end of last week. We're also going to discuss maybe a controversy, which is how do you know if you belong in intermediate and when is time that we will bump you up to expert? So that could be controversial.
Well,
I like it. That's just like hook, line, and sinker. Now they're going to listen.
Well, okay. So to add tidbits to that.
Don't yet. We're not diving in. This is just a preview.
Hear me out. This is a tidbittle preview. It's
okay.
Some extra tidbits. So I personally really feel like we've resolved the controversy pretty rock solid for the intermediate to expert situation.
Mm-hmm.
The controversial gray area is going to fall when we make the final concrete decision on how we bump from novice to intermediate.
Copy that.
Mainly because, well, there's lots of extra variables there.
We can discuss. We will discuss that. We're also going to talk about the brand new kit that just came in and is already shipping out today. We have a master shower. We're going to talk about that. Kevin's very excited. It's the first thing that makes him smile that big in a while. And then we're going to touch on the cancer race, which I started working on today. Mugen Challenge, what we're going to do in place of the Oval event. And then we're going to talk ProTek, all the things ProTek, including all the amazing giveaways.
Should we talk about that steak dinner you made us before we came on for Hump Day?
We could, yes. Yeah,
wow.
Thank you.
It was awesome.
Yeah, so we had...
on our new dining room table.
Yeah.
Which is pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so,
and then weird, we had to drive back to work for a late night sesh. That was a little
it's so weird.
Yeah, it's different. It's definitely different.
So weird.
Hey. Anyway, what was I had something I was going to add
to the list? That would be shocking. I didn't see you have a notepad.
You were running through the upcoming races, and I emailed my friend Chris at Mugen today with an order and some questions, and I led with, are you coming next month? That's right, because Mugen Challenge is
now next month. Oh my
Holy
gosh.
cow.
Yeah, so we'll talk about that. I see a question in the comments about the Drake Clinic. We can talk about that a little bit.
Yep.
And Aaron says, happy y'all are in the house now. We're not as happy as we are. Yeah. We're really enjoying that. Hi to Dominic. Hello to my friend Robin Heil, who is she's been showing up in my group chat about the cancer race. She's going to be my big helper there.
Sweet.
So I want to say hi to Shane, hi to Jason, Taylor, the Garris family. Thanks for joining us. There's the emojis and the nipples. And Dennis, hi. And I think we're good. Everybody else is just complaining about the sound. I just like to throw you for a loop every once in a while. So should we start off by talking about the points update?
We can. One of the things... so Christa alluded to the controversy.
It's my foot.
Sorry. When behind the scenes, one of the things that a lot of people don't realize happens. We get a lot of complaints and a lot of comments and a lot of woohoos and hubbub from people about, well, I really should have ran intermediate. Can I drop back to intermediate? Mm-hmm. Oh, hey, so-and-so's kid is too fast for intermediate. Mm-hmm. They shouldn't be in there. Like, it goes like extremes both ways.
100%. And we hear a lot of it. And
it's one of those things that, like, it doesn't really meet or make it to the mainstream media. It's just stuck in the back, So we finally, the race director, Alex, and Christa and I got together and we talked, and we came up with a really solid plan on how to determine numerically, not by judgment, it's numeric, if your qualifying times from the previous event will put you in the A main.
No, it wasn't the previous event. It can be that same event.
Well, okay, I'm sorry. But we won't kick you out of the intermediate main for that weekend. It falls over to the next race.
Unless we let you know at the beginning. You know what I'm saying? If it was from the previous event.
Yeah.
Okay.
But my point is, it won't affect you during an event, because then it's not fair for us to drop you.
Yeah, if you've got a couple heats. Yeah, okay. Let's get through the meat and potatoes, and then we'll go back and go over all the details.
So if your qualifying times from the previous qualifying event would have put you in that A main, at the next event, you're no longer eligible for intermediate.
Okay, so I'm going to say this another way. So if you're in intermediate class and your times would qualify you in the A main for the expert class, you're out of the intermediate class. You just said the same thing, just without the classes. Mm-hmm. So if you're running A main times for the expert class, you are no longer allowed to be intermediate.
That's correct.
So there are some big downsides to this. Number one, we have a point series. Mm-hmm. And if you're going for points and you get bumped out of a class, that's a bummer. Mm-hmm. My suggestion would be, if you're on the line, move it up. Because this is a bit of a, I mean, listen, I would never, you never want to pick on any person that is in that situation. Sometimes you get so much faster so quickly, you didn't even fully see it coming.
Yeah, for sure.
But this is our hope would be it would discourage a sandbagger. So someone that's just hanging out to try to take the points win in that's not really fair to the rest of the people who deserve to be an intermediate. If you can qualify for the A main and the expert, the intermediate's not the place for you.
That's correct.
So that is something that we are it's going to be a hard and fast rule moving forward.
And the thing that we've offered, so especially because we just are announcing this hard, fast rule, okay? For those of you who have run intermediate this season and are going to bump to expert, like we had a very fast, talented young man that we moved up at Party Rock.
Yep.
So what we're offering in the points department, for the races in which you ran intermediate, we will go back, like I actually have the numbers here. At the opener, we had 32 entries in expert e-buggy and 30 entries in expert nitro buggy. So this particular young man, we gave him 33rd place points for e-buggy and 31st place points for nitro buggy.
Yeah, so it's not going to be like you weren't here at all, but it will be like basically like you were the first one to break out.
Yeah, your last place points.
Again, the point would be, if you're on the line, make sure you go for the expert class. And it is trying to discourage the sandbagger. So just start paying attention to your times. If you are creeping up and you're getting fast in an intermediate class, then you should watch and make sure that you...
Yeah, and so...
Can't be competitive in the A main.
Basically, this particular person ended up with 60-some points for the first two races because they ran intermediate instead of expert. And I believe at least one of the classes that I added the points to for Party Rock,
Yep.
He had 93 points at the Party Rock race.
Yeah.
Like, he did very well.
Very well.
Very well. So, it's, it's
Josh Davis
something.
says, I wish I knew how it felt to bump out of intermediate. Dominic asked a question. I think he was being silly, but it is a question I get a lot, so I do want to address it, which is, can I run intermediate and expert? And the answer is no. You can either be intermediate or expert. Now, you could run intermediate or expert, whichever one, and then also run e-truggy or nitro-truggy. Those are unclassed classes, but you can't run one expert and one intermediate. You need to be intermediate across the board or expert across the board.
I'm glad you brought that up, because just to clarify, when we're talking about bumping you out of a class, right? Let's say you're an e-buggy hotshot. So your e-buggy qualifying time puts you in the e-buggy A for expert. Mm-hmm. So we bump you out of intermediate e-buggy. Mm-hmm. You're automatically bumped out of intermediate nitro buggy.
Yeah. There's
no, it's not per car. It's if you're either intermediate or expert. And if one of your classes pushes you out of that, you're out of that across the board.
Yeah. And I understand Dominic said I do it at other tracks. I wasn't sure. Yeah. I get that a lot when I'm doing sign up. People kind of just they're coming for a race. They want to do as many classes as they can. Mm-hmm. And I get that. But we just want it to be, I think it's most fun if you're racing with the classification that you should be. Yes, no, 40 plus is an exception, because you can still run intermediate or expert and run a 40 plus class. You can run it just like the truggy classes. Now, novice, on the other hand, if you run novice, the only other class you could run would be a 10th scale class. Novice, you cannot run any other 8th scale class with that. Novice is purely made for 8th scale beginners, and you can run a buggy or truggy. It can be nitro or electric, but there is no other classes for that. So
while you're mentioning that, we're going to talk a minute about the difficulties of the bump out for novice.
Yes.
Because, if you have an e-buggy or a nitro buggy, the bump out from novice to intermediate is not so difficult.
Yeah.
But like Christa just said,
if you're in truggy,
if you have a truggy, nitro or electric, there is no intermediate or expert to it.
Yeah.
So we're basically, I think what we're going to do, and we're gonna clarify this at Super Cup when we have another team meeting. But I think if your novice qualifying time would put you in the C main of the truggy classes or intermediate, then you got to go.
Yeah, because novice, you should not be stepping from novice to an A main. No. You should be novice, you should be stepping into a C main.
Yeah, you should be. I mean, no offense to this, but you should be in the bottom of intermediate. That novice is for the guy that literally hasn't quite figured out
right and
left goes left and right goes right.
Yeah, and I mean, this is a really good conversation, because novice class has come such a far way. Mm-hmm. There was a time when the novice cars were on the track, and there were people that literally couldn't keep it between the two pipes. Yeah. And that's what it was designed for.
That's
Somebody
right. That's right.
to not be too intimidated to try racing out one time. So unfortunately and fortunately, it's gotten a lot more competitive.
Mm-hmm,
but it's definitely not as friendly to those newbie people. Mm-mm. That's part of the reason we did develop that intermediate class, is to make it be an easier step out of novice into intermediate. Yeah. And it's a problem because of the points. And novice, you're talking about kids. And, when it is kids that you're bumping out of their chance for points, it makes it way tricky. So that's why one of the reasons we haven't made a decision on it yet is because we don't want to jeopardize it. But this is something that we've got to get in place so that class turns into a friendly, welcoming place for new people.
We've chased off a few true novice beginner people because the novice class really was too competitive for them.
Yeah.
So we're trying.
When we first started the novice class, the deal was you won one time, you're out, or you won twice, you're out.
Yeah, it was Yeah, 2 or 3 times. I don't remember. Yeah.
It was just supposed to be you were going to run this a few times until you had excelled. And it's just kind of turned into something different. So we do just need to work on that.
Yeah, for sure.
So, yeah.
Yeah. It's, I mean, again, we're coming up with numeric rules that
you can check yourself.
Well, it was always difficult for us to try to make the judgment call.
I know. I hate that.
You know, if you said, hey, you should move, and they didn't want to, now they're upset. And if you didn't move them and they don't want to move and they sandbag, then somebody else is upset. And it's just,
I know.
It's
hard
to
keep everybody happy there. I do really like the intermediate to expert rule, though. I want to go back and say hi to some of our friends. I saw that there's a fly in front of my face. I saw that Tina Burns says they're watching from Port Royal. Oh. Yes, Port Royal has Speed Week. And there were several nice comments about the classes. I know that Dennis was on. Hi, Dennis. There's Tim.
Oh, hey, Tim. How's it going?
Roger Cross said he loves the rule.
Yeah.
So Alex says there's already a list of people on the bubble. Yeah.
I'm glad you brought that up, Alex. Thank you. So at the beginning of every weekend now...
And here's the list. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to read the list.
At the beginning of every weekend, one of Alex's jobs is to give me the hot list. And we had that list at the beginning of Party Rock. And, I went and talked to 3 or 4 people that were on the hot list and explained to them the situation. And they made decisions based on what we said. We didn't actually... we didn't actually have to force anyone to do anything. Yep. With the little, hey, here's the list, and go talk to these people conversations, it all worked out. Yep. And everybody is happy, moving forward. Sean, actually, I'm glad I just saw your name. If you could tell Garrett, I got his points added for the first 2 races, but I didn't get the Truggy one fixed yet.
His name was in twice. So what happens, I want to explain this in case anybody else has this problem. So what happened to Garrett's points is he was in a class twice. So meaning when he came to sign up one time, we added him in. And then the next time, live time was not acting correctly. And you went to type in his name. It was like he was never a racer there. So we added him again. Because he was in there twice as 2 different people, he got 2 separate points. We have to contact live time to figure out how to add those together. So we'll work on that.
Because he's in the hunt for the e-Truggy points, I don't want to just generically add some points and
absolutely
doctor it up, because it could come down to tiebreakers, which have to be perfect. So I got to call live time tomorrow morning and get that fixed properly. But
so with that being said, e-Truggy points could change. So right now we've got Ezra Cork in the lead. Jordan Updegraff, who was in the lead, went down to the 2nd spot. And it's a tight battle, because then Billy Pappenberg is right there in 3rd too. And then Vance Lutz and Gavin Yoder. So all top 5. It's a pretty competitive class for that e-Truggy, but you got to throw a 6th person into the mix, which is Garrett McCutcheon, who's also extremely competitive.
I'm going to give you a ballpark where he's going to fall here in just a second.
Okay.
Sorry.
Jeff says it's better to finish dead last in intermediate than win novice. Likewise, it's better to finish dead last in expert than win intermediate. Yeah, Jeff, I agree. I will tell you, I understand the people that get frustrated by not having top finishes. I was a racer too, and I totally get that. So I understand the draw, but I will tell you, competing with better people will always make you better, and that is your fastest way to continue to do better each and every race.
Yeah, I don't have the exact numbers in front of me. I'm going off of half memory and half the data I actually have on this paper in front of me, but I'm pretty sure after we fix Garrett's double name, double entry deal, he's actually going to be the points leader in e-Truck, I believe.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Sorry about that.
Can overall seating after qualifying determine the class that you're in? Oh, Josh Davis says, can overall seating?
So you're opening up a huge can of LCRC backdoor worms right now. So
Alex already responded and said that's not a bad idea, but it would take manually inputting 100 different race finishes. I'm not sure if the system would allow you to combine intermediate and expert mid-race. So listen, this was the point of having just one class before we split it up, is it wasn't that you're being forced to compete with expert. It was that you're going to be with the A main, the B main, the C main. When I raced motocross, I signed up for the C class. That's how it was done in motocross.
Yeah.
So you could sign up for the C, the B, or the A. That's what we've gone to now, is that you're signing up for the intermediate or you're signing up for the expert class.
And listen, if this thing keeps growing at the rate that it's growing by year now, within the next couple of years, we may actually, especially in e-buggy, we may end up having expert, intermediate, and sportsman, and then still novice.
Yeah.
At some point, we'll see.
So Mike Malone says, how does the Super Cup work again? We'll be able to get on the track Thursday before the race. Yes. So Super Cup has practice just like you're used to. So we're going to have practice on Thursday and Friday, weather permitting. Someone else asked about Super Cup today, so we'll go ahead and dive into that for a second. The other things, or the main thing that you should know about Super Cup that makes it different is that there are 2 rounds of heats, just like you're used to. But then you basically take those heats.
1 round.
It's advertised 2 rounds that we might have to go down to 1 round.
Depending on entries, yeah.
Depending on entries.
Okay.
So there's scheduled or advertised to be 2 rounds of heats, which then we will take. And basically imagine like you take those 2 rounds and you sort for your mains, okay? When they do that, they'll do the classifications for the mains, which is your Super Pole round.
Super Cup round. Super Pole is different.
Well, then you made me advertise it wrong.
No, it says Super Cup round, doesn't it? That's what we've always... Because there is actually a Super Pole round available in live time, and that doesn't work for us. That's not how we do it. It's actually a Super Cup round, which is similar to mains. They're 10 minutes across the board, and the winner, because we only take 10 straight to the main for Sunday. Mm-hmm. So then when you run your Super Cup round, the winner of the Super Cup round is then car 11 in the main on Sunday. And then 2nd through 10 in the Super Cup round is now the starting grid for that main on Sunday. So essentially when the A resort goes out for their Super Cup round, they're literally just racing heads up for 10 minutes to find out the starting grid for the A main.
So the Super Cup round also starts like a main. So think about it like main racing. So you're going to line up on the grid for your start. That's what he means by heads up racing. A lot of people haven't heard that before.
Sorry.
So heads up racing would mean that you're going to start on the grid and then you're going to race that just like it is a main. If you win that, you're going to bump to the next higher main. So for example, if you were in the D main, you automatically on Sunday now go to the C main. But then we still have bumps on Sunday, just like normal. Mm-hmm. So you can still play the bump game on Sunday. This is just an automatic ticket up to the next spot.
Yep.
Yeah. So, and you did call it Super Pole last week, and that is why I used it in my Instagram video that I made today. Yes, you did. Somebody get me that clip.
Super Cup. I'm very adamant about it because in the software there is a Super Pole round.
I understand that. I do know. What's the other word that you've used then recently? It's not just been Super Cup. You've been
the final round on Saturday is. Sorry, I know you're getting very angry with me right now. Mm-hmm. Sorry.
Mm-hmm. Copy that. You start making all the Instagram reels.
But you're very pretty. And I love you.
Drive me nuts. Anyway,
You do great. Real
Any
work.
other questions about the Super Cup, which is not the Super Pole? Don't ever call it a Super Pole. It's on the website too, where it says Super Pole. So what's Super Pole then?
Honestly, I don't remember exactly. It's not. It's another form of a qualifying round.
Well, that's extremely helpful.
Yeah, it's not what we want, because
anyway,
the problem
we've explained it in great detail. I'm pretty sure that they'll be able to figure it out anyway.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, the best reason that you should come to the ProTek race is did you see the reel on all of the cannot find my mouse pulling a Davy? Posted this today. This is not even all the giveaways that ProTek sent. So ProTek hooked us up with lots of giveaways this race.
And FYI, our 8-year-old shot most of this video, just so you know.
And
pretty
she
impressive.
edited it too.
Did she?
She did.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm
Oh wait, is that the flyer? What does it say?
No, the flyer says Super Cup round,
okay.
which is always what I said. But I'm telling you, last week on this video, you said something about Super Pole, and I swear that's what I've used that moving forward.
Sorry.
I'm going to find the video proof. Can't say anything. I video you.
Yeah, I know.
So anyway, lots of good stuff. There was also buggy and truggy bags that are going out, and lots of pit mats and things of that sort. So I'm telling you, there are totally great prizes up for grabs on that. The other cool thing about the ProTek race is that you get to sign the podium backdrop. So over the last 3 years, I believe. Was it 2 or 3?
It's 2. This will be 3rd.
So the last 2 years, this is the 3rd year. Yeah, you're right. The winner of each class got to sign the podium backdrop, which is just a very coveted thing. We have it hanging all weekend, so you can go and look at the names. I created another video that will go live tomorrow, which is all of the signatures from last year. So Gavin Yoder has now signed it twice, which I thought was pretty cool. There's also a really cool video of Brett Butter signing it from last year. Ryan Lutz signed it last year.
Okay.
Also, Blaze Malinowski, Jason Schreffler signed it. Trying to think of who else. The one Willow Boy signed it.
Jonathan?
No.
Richard
signed it.
Okay.
And several others. There's a video that includes all of that that's going live tomorrow. That's cool. Anyway, something that makes it a little bit extra special is to do that. Oh, yeah. So, Greg, thank you for clarifying. It was Super Pull, P-U-L-L, not pole, which totally clarifies everything. Thank you, Greg. Oh, I knew I could count on you. So there was a question about Nitro Oval on Friday, and Alex answered it, which is the oval track is currently needing to be rebuilt, so we will not be doing the oval racing in the evening. We will still do cornhole. We will have food trucks here, and it'll be great.
Yes, Robert, they do, and we do have some of them in stock.
Did you get the question about Let's Fuel? Did you answer that yet?
I didn't, but I will tell you I officially ordered 60 or 80 gallons of Let's Fuel today.
Okay, great. So it should be here in time.
Yeah.
Jordan Black says, why not run Super Cup every race? You're not the first person to ask this. People really love Super Cup. The one downside of it is that you have to manually enter. So because you resort into a main, you actually use the software to make a main. Then you have to manually enter all of those entries in again in order to set up the mains for Sunday. So on the back end, it's a lot more clerical work.
Yeah, so you guys know on Saturday night when qualifying's over, we make you wait for a minimum of 30 to 45 minutes till we set up the mains, and then we can run the timetable and announce, hey, we have to start at 7:30 Sunday morning to be done by 5. when we do Super Cup, it takes hour and a half, 2 hours to get it done, depending on entries. So, listen, it's a lot of administrative effort.
We do have some extra volunteers, hands on site this time.
We do, and I think it'll help, but it's still going to take some time, and it's just I've been working with Lifetime the last couple years doing this event, hoping that they'll come up with something, but they still haven't written any code to help us with this, because we're really the only ones that do this kind of thing.
Yeah. Jody and Rob want to know, do ProTek sell just the tips for their drivers?
Yeah, that's what I said.
I'm just going back through old stuff.
We have 1 5, 2 O's, and 2 5s and stuff.
Yeah. Mike Malone says he wants to sign it. Yes. Always a good time. Hi, Matt Adams. Thank you for hanging out.
Hi, Matt.
ProTek's going to be really epic. I think it's going to be next level. Hey, speaking of which, when we get through ProTek, the next race is Mugen Challenge, which is wild that is coming up so quickly. We already kind of touched on the oval thing, and there's little to no chance that we will have an oval in place for the Mugen Challenge. Although if Kevin were going to do it for anybody, it would be for Adam Drake. Yes, you would. You're such a fangirl. But anyway, so instead of the oval, we're going to do the Pit Guy Challenge. So I'll get together with the guys this weekend and come up with some rules. So talk to Taylor and talk to Alex about how you'd like to see that Pit Guy Challenge go down. And we'll come up with the guidelines for that. That'll be happening at Mugen Challenge right before we do the cornhole after practice at 7 o'clock. So,
sorry, I just saw a comment from Taylor. Taylor is now going to be my Saturday night after we're set up, get the main sheets onto Facebook and up and going.
Okay.
So maybe him and I might need your help, a little guidance on that.
I will happily help with that, Taylor. We can do it way better than Kevin's done it in the past.
Yeah.
Anyway, so there's going to be, I was thinking that maybe 2 classes. We should have a double man and a single man, 2 separate classes for that.
Oh.
So,
never thought of that.
I think that it's a 2-class deal. Yeah, thank you.
Good thought. Yeah.
Mike Malone says, how about the nicest paint scheme contest? Yeah, I want to circle back on that then. I'm going to be talking to MT Designs, who has offered to throw up some money for a, what do they call it?
Concourse
class.
Yeah.
So we're going to circle back around and possibly have that be part of Mugen Challenge as well. I think that would be a special thing.
Judging that is hard.
Yeah.
I had to do that for Roar a couple times when I worked for them at other races. Because they all look so good. And if you happen to know one of the guys and you're like, man, he's had that scheme forever. It's always been so awesome. You feel like you're pulling favorites. Like it's hard to judge that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm going to be talking to Mike Treharn and we'll get that sorted out and see what we're going to do there. Mugen Challenge, we will also be having a Drake clinic again this year. The way that works is that usually we open up a sign-up 30 days in advance. Shane Laux said about should Mugen guys get first dibs at that? Last year we did a deal where we did not let repeat entries. So if you had done it before, that you weren't going to do it again. I don't think we're doing that again this year. Because
listen, I have mixed thoughts about that subject. I know if I were coming to Mugen Challenge, I would be way more into doing that than anything else that happens all weekend.
Yeah. So
if I couldn't do it year after year, man, I'd be disappointed.
I know, and I look at like Gavin Yoder, who he's done it before, but he's a young up and comer, and like I feel like they get different things out of it every single time. So you don't want to keep somebody like that out of it.
Yeah.
So anyway, I think it'll just be first come first serve like we've done in the past. We open that up online. There's a registration fee. And we'll tell you in advance before we open it. And the first people to sign up, they're the ones that get it.
Yeah, and and it's so hard for me. You know, I get the personal messages or phone calls or texts about, hey, can you get me in the clinic? dude, I can't. There's only 20 spots.
Yeah.
And I can't, you know, you guys, some of you might find this hard to believe, but I have more than 20 friends. So it's, you know, I
super
can't.
tricky.
Yeah, I can't.
The other thing that we'll do again this year, I got to circle back around with Dennis Brew on this, but we are doing a golf outing over at the Lost Creek Golf Course again. That is going
Super
to be, yeah, it is really cool. We do that on top of the clinic. Because for people that didn't get into the clinic, that's something to look forward to. So it's a golf outing on Thursday morning. Oh, Dennis Brew. Yeah. So we're going to work together and get that organized. I want to be able to
Does that mean we're going to lose?
Open it up.
Are we going to lose Bob to the golf tournament?
Maybe.
Or golf thing
Maybe.
On Thursday morning? He was out swinging clubs the other day.
Yeah, he was getting ready. Eric was talking about the Drake clinic and said it was an incredible experience. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. Matt says, Kevin, I have 2 more of those sugar totes I can bring down. Awesome. Okay. Yeah, so lots of stuff going on at the Mugen Challenge. That is going to be here before we know it. So there will be lots of information I'll be sharing throughout the next 2 months about those events. But we're also already talking about the cancer race. So I know it's September, but this race takes the most planning and work of any of our races. So we did start work on the cancer race stuff today. I'm just putting it out there because I need a couple things from my RC community. Last year we opened up the Squishmallow bingo to Squishmallow donations. So if anyone feels called to donating a Squishmallow to that bingo, that takes away some of the overhead cost. And then we have Squishmallows to give away for that Glow bingo. That was extremely popular last year.
You know what was not popular that night last year? When I pulled up to the back of the tent after I was done working that night and I yelled bingo, ooh, I thought you were going to kill me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I was very upset. Thank you for reminding me about that. I'm actually getting upset right now thinking about that.
I learned a lesson. Never do that again.
Oh.
I'll never do that again.
Well, the worst part about it is all I had wanted you to do is come see what it was, you know, like all those people and whatever.
Great.
You came up and made a big joke of it. You know,
I
instead
make a big joke of it.
Yelling bingo doesn't make a big joke of it.
Oh, come on.
People were taking that very seriously. You had no idea, and you just rolled up and bingo. I could have killed you.
Oh yeah.
We don't joke about bingo.
I slept
Hunter
with one eye
says.
open that night for sure.
Oh my gosh, I was so mad because I kept calling him. I'm like, honey, you've got to see this. This is next level.
Well, no,
in the
you kept
previous
calling me
year,
going, do you have more chairs? Do you have more? We need more tables. There's not enough. I'm like, how? We robbed tables and chairs from Cool Kids Corner. How can you possibly not have enough tables and chairs?
He did not understand.
Holy
He did
crap.
not understand.
Yeah.
And the previous year, he never came back and visited it at all. So he never saw it. And I was like telling him, hey, listen, this is a big deal. And he was like,
a big deal.
And then rolls up and bingo. I could have. Yeah. Thanks for reminding me about that. Better make a note of that right here. Still mad at Kevin over bingo.
And yes, she actually wrote that down.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, so that's the first thing that I'm looking for is some Squishmallows for Glow Bingo. Varying sizes. We like to have some big ones and some littler ones. Yeah. And then if you guys could really just help us reach out to members of the RC community. So for example, if you're a Techno sponsored driver, it would be really helpful to us if you guys could help working with your companies to get us donations. You guys can imagine how much work it is to gather up donations to do the raffle. This event has been extremely successful.
It was $27,000 last year?
Yeah, something like that. That we were able to give to the St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital.
It's insane.
Yeah, it's really amazing that we can do that. But part of that is having prizes that people are willing to come to the event to purchase tickets for. So, you know, like I want this event to be the kind of event that people come to just spectate and buy tickets. Because, and we will do... ship it. We did ship some things last year.
So in the past, this event hasn't really drawn in a ton of outside racer raffle ticket purchase people, right? Money. Where adding your bingo thing has, like, they get to come because they want to come play bingo, but then they see, like, whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa. And they're starting to come for the other stuff.
Yeah. And now we have some video and stuff from last year that ahead of time we can say, this is what you can expect. That's the thing we've been missing in the past, is we couldn't tell people where to go and park and things because we didn't really have a visual aid to show them. And now we kind of have a good thing.
And speaking of that night is, again, one of those super special critical moments when you guys got to help us with the whole parking thing. If you normally have this sweet spot you always get because you're the first one up and the last one to bed, that night, God, I can't ask you enough to just take it clear into the back and open up those front spots for the locals.
And Jody and Rob said, do they ever send a thank you letter? Just curious. I assume he's talking about St. Jude. And yes, not only did we get a thank you card and letter, just we actually, they reached out to us this year many occasions. We were given a representative right from St. Jude that, like, if you guys need help in the future, sorry, can't talk right now. If you guys need help in the future, let us know. We were invited to a special gala in Pittsburgh that we did not make this year, but we have talked about we'd like to go next year just to learn more about what we're raising money for and how the money is spent. And but yeah, and then, you know, I would love to get a representative to come to the races and see what we're doing.
I think that's becoming in the realm of possibility now.
I think it could happen this year.
We're a blip on the radar finally that, you know.
Yeah. No, they were very, very grateful. Yeah. And they did a wonderful job of making us feel like
they appreciate it.
100%. Yeah. Like, you know, listen, this kind of stuff is hard to do if you don't feel appreciated with it. And you don't do it for that. But, like, there were times that we would send off donations to the previous and never hear a word, and that is discouraging. That's discouraging. So yeah, no, St. Jude has really done a wonderful job of that. So anyway, okay, so that's the cancer race. Honey, stop reading comments and help me carry the show.
Sorry, I'm busy. What did you say?
know. Oh my gosh, it's ridiculous. Bingo. Hey, so, honey, guess what?
That got me in a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
What?
You got to have a shower today.
I did.
A real shower.
You want to know what's going to happen later?
You're going to do it again?
I'm going to get another.
Are you kidding?
Yeah, no.
You're out of control.
It's awesome.
We got the glass in place for our shower. So today, Kevin was able to take the first ever shower in our master bath shower. We have been showering. We haven't been pulling in Alex, but we've been showering upstairs in the guest bathroom, Adeline's bathroom upstairs,
which is completely remodeled, all modern and super nice as well.
100%.
But did you catch the part where she said it's upstairs and not 8 feet behind our master bedroom? So.
Jody and Rob, I will actually even do better than that. I will find one of their cards or something that they sent us from last year and include that in the cancer race. They said you need to post the letter for 2025. I'm gonna post some things for last year to just show you.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah,
it really is. It's
They sent a really nice email. I think that would be the best thing to share. Jason Massey, LC Dash, dedicated couple cars to do a Sheetz Dollar General runs. Couple folks give out their numbers on posts around the store. Great side hustle for the locals to keep the parking situation civil. That's not a bad idea. You could start that. Go for it. There is a DoorDash around here now.
You told me that.
Somebody got McDonald's delivered. I was like, what? I did not know they did that. Tim says, what's wrong with the camper shower?
Really?
We do not live in the camper anymore, Tim. So that's what's wrong with the camper shower.
Just FYI, the Moomaw family July camping trip has been canceled.
Yes, it has.
Yeah. There'll be none of that. No.
100%.
Yeah.
Oh, so anyway, there's that. We also got a table. We got a table. Mm-hmm. So I have been in the hunt for
awesome table.
a dining room table for the house for quite a while, and we found one at a thrift shop that is spectacular.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Thanks, Uncle Harry.
Uncle Harry helped us make that one happen. So very cool. Yeah. Very, very cool. So do you want to talk about the new Custom Works kit that we have in stock? The Bullet came out. They released it last night.
Yeah.
We had 10 of them. At my last check, we were down to 8 of them. But we do have them in stock. Kevin, tell us more.
So this is the long-awaited higher bite loose dirt car. I don't know how else to say it.
Okay.
But so this is it's a half inch offset chassis. It's got all the newer stuff on it. The flat top wing. It's got the V2 rear adjustable arms. It also has, which I just confirmed with Max, do your video trickery with that so they can see it. Remember, you old school guys back in the day, Associated, when Associated had the battery box that required the body clips through the head of the 440 screws, Custom Works has used those as the wing angle adjustment screws forever. And they just came out with these super duper Billy Badass titanium recreations that are pretty amazing. This particular pair right here is actually going to land itself onto my own car at some point.
Okay, $12 added to Kevin's tab.
But they do come in the new kit. 3mm towers, and it does have the 2.6 tranny. I think it's doesn't it say lay down? Yeah, it's got the lay down transmission in it. It comes with 30-degree front blocks, and it's got a lot of the newer metric parts on it. And all in one kit. Map price on it is $549. Like Christa said, we do have a handful of them left. I honestly, if they're not all gone by morning, I will be surprised.
I hope that they're not, because I have 2 people that want to come pick them up in store tomorrow, and I'm like, I hope they're still here. So
they better get online and buy them for pickup.
Well, Alex said, "Are you going to restore the table or keep it as is? It is gorgeous. It needs no restoration." So the funny part
Didn't even
was
have to polish it.
That Harry's friend had helped haul it into the local thrift shop, Abundant Blessings, and Harry called us and said, "Hey, if you are interested in a table, you should go look at this one and whatever." So we went down and we got to look at it before they had even priced it or put it out, and it was all wrapped up, so we couldn't see a whole lot, but I could see that the color was the right color, and I could see that there were 6 chairs and that it had 2 of the captain's chairs. I really had wanted an 8 chair, but 6 chairs were going to do the job, and I had been okay with it.
Dainty little legs like you wanted.
I had not wanted a big base. I really wanted dainty legs that I had been looking for a long time, and it had that. So I said, okay, well, this is meant to be. So I said they had to price it and let us know, and I was like, okay, if they go certain price, I'm just going to take it. If it's above $300, I'm going to look at it and see how much I have to restore it. Because, Alex, I've restored some furniture now and stuff, so I can do it. It might be a little bit of work. So then it took a few days, and they called, and what was the price?
$149.
$149. Oh, and guess what? I went to pick it up. There weren't 6 chairs. There were 8 chairs. So it was so awesome. We brought it home that day, and it is really, really gorgeous. The only thing we're not 100% sure about is there might be another leaf to it. We're going to call back and check because it just looks like there might be another leaf in there.
Yeah.
So.
Pretty good chance.
Yeah, pretty cool.
But,
what else you got, babe? I went over my list. We'll go ahead and let you.
Matt said that Custom Works makes those titanium wing adjustment screws in blue also,
well,
which makes sense.
Yeah.
I like the Thai ones, though. The silver ones.
Wow, that's surprising. Maybe it is the Thai ones, and they are just anodized blue.
They are, but the problem is...
That's too much weight?
No.
With the blue coating?
They're titanium, honey. Come on. I actually...
But I'm saying, why is it too much weight if they're blue?
It's not weight. It's not too much weight. I said when you anodize or dye or whatever they do to titanium to make it blue, it's not the kind of blue I like. I prefer the titanium color.
Not the girly blue.
Kind of.
I know that color blue.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's not LCRC blue. How about that?
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes a lot more sense.
Dennis, hint, hint, nudge, nudge.
Did you know? No, stop encouraging Dennis. He needs black. He needs to go black and never go back.
Oh my God.
I told him that he should print everything in black, and then,
I told him that.
And then, if people want a separate color, it's an upcharge.
The crap out of them.
Upcharge. Anyway,
Dennis, I'll pay more for the right blue.
I am really excited about Dennis's starter box plates.
Yeah, I had 2 people in the shop today that spied them laying back there and were like, "Whoa, what's that?"
Yeah, we gotta get them
cool.
in store.
Yeah.
In store.
Love it.
Hey, speaking of points, did you know that Brian Cruz is now your points leader in Nitro Chuggy?
No.
Yes, he is.
Is that right?
He took it over Chris Mahakian.
Ooh.
Yeah, and Buddy's only got 1 point up on him.
Good job, Brian.
That one's going to be a tight battle. There's Rodney Hiles in your 3rd spot, and then Dennis Brew and Nicholas Camasco.
Mm-hmm.
Neck and neck.
Yeah,
that one's totally worth watching.
I think Camasco took the blue jacket in Nitro Truck last year, right?
Yeah, was that Nitro Chuggy?
He got a blue jacket.
I don't know. I don't remember which class. If I had my announcer's book, I could tell you, but I don't have that with me. Gavin Yoder is your 10th scale points leader.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. Them old farts ain't got a chance catching him.
Toby's in 2nd.
Yeah.
Alex is in 3rd.
Schultz, how'd you let that happen?
I know.
I thought you'd been whooping him every time.
I know.
Holy cow.
Pat Colligan's in 4th. He was your winner last year. And Gary V's in 5th. Tom Petrello was able to defend his lead, though. He is the leader in the plus 40 electric buggy. It's very confusing to me because Don Hillard is actually your leader in the plus 40 nitro buggy. But I keep getting him backwards because I expect Don Hillard to be winning the plus 40E.
Yeah, he got a nitro car and took off.
I know.
Old Hillard.
I know. He's been actually doing really well this year.
Yeah, and the fact that the 2 of them are keeping Williard out of the top spot in either class, that's pretty wild.
Yeah, right now, though, in that plus 40 e-buggy, there's only 1 point between Tom Petrella and Don Hillard. And
in e-buggy?
In the plus 40 e-buggy. And I heard that there's a chance Tom can't make one of the races.
Yeah, he doesn't.
So that's going to mix it all up.
Yeah, Tom doesn't come to Mugen Challenge because I have a life event that scheduling... Mm-hmm. If it's an anniversary or a birthday or something.
How disappointing is that going to be carrying the lead and then,
wah.
I know, yeah. Matt Williard is in 3rd in that class.
I did see, when I was in there messing with points the last couple of times, I did see that...
Nick was your Nitro Chuggy champ last year.
Oh,
Camasco.
Yeah. I did see there's an option to award double points for an event.
Why would you do that? Okay.
I mean...
It's just good to know moving forward.
Yeah.
I already mentioned it, but Don Hillard is still leading in that plus 40 Nitro Buggy class. Mm-hmm. And he's leading over Rob Allen.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, then Matt Novosa,
wow.
Dennis Brew, and then Ron G are rounding out those. Points leader in the e-buggy class, expert e-buggy, Greg Harmer.
Yeah.
And he held
He's
that
on
out.
fire.
Yeah. He's got it over Gavin Gibbler, but there's a gap there. Harmer is like a strong lead over Gibbler.
Harmer's going to have to miss a race or break out or something.
Yeah, there's got to be something. Third place is Alex Burns in that class right now. Yeah,
Way to
so
go,
that's
Burns.
cool. Juan Lopez is after that, and then Gavin Nipples in your 5th spot. So I like all those drivers. Very cool.
Yeah.
But Greg Harmer's also leading that expert Nitro Buggy class.
Yeah.
He's beating Jason Streffler in Nitro Buggy in the points. Yeah.
Wow. Somebody commented about TQ, and Christa and I, actually, Christa brought it to me, and we talked about it for a hot second. In 2026, we are going to make a few changes to the point structure.
Yeah.
So you're going to get a bonus point or maybe 2 for TQ. And then I think maybe we'll try and go back to like our old school ATV thing where first place gets 100, second place gets 95, and then we're going to go down to 91. So we're going to drop at 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. And then we're only going to give 1 or 2 points for TQ. So if you TQ and finish second, you still don't get as many points as the winner.
Yes, and thanks to Don Hillard who brought that forward to us.
Yeah, we're gonna.
It's just
we're gonna
a suggestion. Appreciate that. Probably the best battle in points right now is in the intermediate e-buggy class. Derek Hurdley only has 2 points over Jared Henry. Then Gavin Yoder.
Derek Hurley's leading the intermediate.
Yeah, and Gavin Yoder is
Good
only
for you.
1 point behind that.
Is that
so there's like a 3-point spread in the top 3.
Oh, wow.
And then he's in a tie with Mike Egelberger for points. So he's, it doesn't like tie, but the points are tied.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
and then 5th is Treharn, and he's only 4 points behind.
Holy cow.
Yeah. So crazy.
It's pretty wild.
Yeah. So I'm pretty excited. Lots of good details. I'm going to do some more highlights of the point series moving forward. We're going to do this type of recap in a real form. Before the ProTek race. Kind of just spotlight these guys. So pretty cool.
ProTek's going to be pretty cool. Like always, we're on pins and needles about the weather. We have no idea if it's going to be sunshine and rainbows
it's
or...
going to be beautiful.
Yeah.
I just feel like it. It's
we'll
totally
find out.
going to be.
We'll find out, but either way, I mean, listen, we've been through...
Worse?
We've been through a lot of crap.
Yeah, so true.
And still not scared. So, it is what it is.
Jordan says, do you get points for the Super Cup race? Yes. Oh, no. Not for the Super Cup
no.
version. No.
Only Sunday main day final finish.
Good question, actually.
Yeah.
That's a good question. Top 3 in Nitro are only 1 point apart from each other. Yeah. Isn't that crazy? So cool. And intermediate. Yep. Very tight battle.
That is crazy. It's unbelievable to me.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
Hey, honey, we're down to our last minute or so. Do you have anything that we missed that you want to share?
Well, let me look over my list. Yep. Nope. Covered it all.
It's a good thing I came prepared. Huh.
She is. She's the most prepared of all of us.
Yeah. Well, I've had a good couple. I think it's been very helpful to be able to remove ourselves from work. I really am feeling more motivated, and I'm excited about coming to work again for the first time in a long time. We were pulling ourselves through there for a little bit.
So some of my oldest, most some of my really old friends that have heard the story, there was one time in my life, in my roaring 20s, when the shop didn't open on time. Happened one time. Always opened on time, except that one time. Anyway, I'm not... We're late for family functions sometimes because we're gathering a kid and a dog and got to do this or that. But, when it comes to work... you guys, you know me, like 8:59, not 9 o'clock, 8:59, and I mean we're going right now. Yeah, I was late for work this morning. I had to text Burns twice and tell him I was running late and wasn't going to be here on time because I was too busy at the house doing honeydews and living life, and like I didn't want to leave.
That's more like it. It wasn't really honeydews. I didn't ask you to do that stuff.
No, I'm sorry. That comes out wrong. Lifeless things at the house. How about that?
We were having fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Okay, guys, that's it. Thank you so much. Appreciate all of you. And we'll see you next Wednesday for Hump Day Happy Hour.
See y'all.